It's going to be pretty fun to see Brian again. Jason, Jeff, and I all played with Brian at what is now FC Dallas, then the Dallas Burn. And I'm sure we'll be able to share some stories about training at Green Hill Preparatory Academy, where we trained out of double-wide trailers and walked in between peacocks to get to the recess playground that we had to be off before school started. So the league's come a long way since then, but it'll be neat to see Brian again and play against this team.
Brian and I started out at Dallas the very first year of the league in 1996 and quickly became good friends. Our families were very, very close, did a lot of things socially. He has kids that are very similar ages to my kids. And so I don't consider him just a comrade or a coaching partner, but a friend.
As a player, he was a real fast, athletic player who was totally committed, as most of the guys who played for Dave Durr were. Always 100% in anything, in everything, training, games, whatever.
Thinking about Brian Haynes, you just think about that left foot of his. I mean, he could find anybody on the field, and he would get up and down, and his delivery from that side and his energy and passion is what I really remember about Brian in the '97 team.
We won the semifinal away at New York on a sudden death bicycle kick by Wade Weber. Just like an awesome game, awesome experience. And then we had to wait because we got knocked out of the playoffs in the first round, and DC won the championship that year. And again, if I'm getting it right, I'm pretty sure we had to play the Open Cup final after the MLS Cup final. And so as a result, we were training for a couple of weeks just getting ready for this thing. And Mark Dodd had a family tragedy. And again, it's long enough ago, I'm not sure I'm remembering it perfectly, but I believe it was his wife's mother that died and I think it was a car accident. And this happened 2 days before the final. And so it was not at all clear that Mark was going to be available or to play. And of course, I played a couple of the other games. So I didn't know literally until an hour before kickoff was I going to go or not. I wound up Mark playing, and Mark had a great game and got the shutout when we won in penalties. But my memory then after the game was that Mark Santel had ripped his hamstring. And so it was my job as the non-playing goalie to pick up Mark and put him on my back and carry him to the pile that in the middle of the field after we won the title. So that was a pretty neat memory.
There was just a lot of passion in that game. There was a lot of emotion, and that was the first championship for the club back then. There was a lot of things going on, a lot of passion, and everyone just poured out everything they had in that game.
I just went off on 3 or 4 pretty random memories from a tournament that was played almost 20 years ago. So, and I know Bill Manning, our president here, can still tell you chapter and verse of the games he played in when he was with the Brooklyn Italians in 1991. So certainly it makes a lot of lasting memories, and it qualifies you for CONCACAF. I mean, so certainly from an RSL fan perspective, that's probably the single most salient point, aside from our long-winded stories, are the fact that there's tangible reward here. There's tangible money to our players if they win, and it's real reward to the club by getting back in the Champions League.
It will be an interesting night. Hopeful to welcome him in and then send him away with a loss. So it will be a good night.
RSL hosts the Atlanta Silverbacks on Tuesday, May 28th at 7:30. Get your tickets today.